Hey YouTube, this is Nova Piper here on a Sunday morning. I'm going to do a tobacco review today. I'm smoking my Missouri Meerschaum. I think this is the Patriot. I usually smoke Latakia in this. That's about it. I got another cob in there they use for non-English blends. Great pipe. Yeah, got a replacement stem because I chew right through them. So it's kind of flanged out here a bit. It's not fitting very well, so I stuck a little piece of paper in there for a shim. You know, there's other ways to do it, but it's all head around. Anyway, I'll probably have to do this in a few pieces. I'm going to, I haven't lit it yet. I'll talk about it a little bit. I want to talk about it at the beginning, middle, and end. See how consistent it is. And the tobacco today is Kendall Tobacco, Gawith and Hoggarth Balkan Mixture. The finest Virginia tobaccos expertly blended with Latakia to give the smoker a unique taste and aroma. Made in England. Oh, look at the warning. This product contains chemicals known in the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. Why do people even live in California? If, only California that's going to happen. Jeez, I don't get it. The tin note on this stuff, I gotta say, it's, you can smell the Latakia, of course. It's got a hint of, let me use words I'm familiar with. It's got a hint of leather to it. Now I'm kind of new to this tobacco, it's a little rank as well. When you put your nose in the tin, it doesn't smell good. It's like it's like if you're down on the wharf fishing, and someone's had some bait sitting on the hot sun for a day or two. A lot of people go fishing and they'll dig up mussels or periwinkles or something like that, or sometimes they'll catch a shitfish and cut it up for bait and let it sit there and come back a couple days later and it just smells rancid. The flies are all on it, and, it smells like, that's what this kind of smells like in the tin, but doesn't mean anything. I don't know if you guys have ever tried is it Cornell and Deal? I don't know who it is. Burley Flake number 3. I didn't know it was Dark Fire Kentucky because I can't stand it. But anyway, when I bought it and opened it, it smelled like a hamster cage. So, it doesn't taste like a hamster cage. I just don't like it. But this stuff here, I think I really like it. I'm gonna light her up here. Jack Daniels Zippo pipe lighter. I don't drink. Over 12 years. The world's a much safer place for me and everybody else. It's sort of a ribbon cut or a shag cut, already rubbed. Oh, there's no breeze out here today. You be careful. Yeah, that tastes good. Oh shit. Oh, normal for me to get coffee all over me. Tobacco was pretty wet when I opened it, so I had to dry it out, and I got it pretty dry. And guys at my local smoke shop told me, try drying your tobacco out really, really dry. I would leave a little bit of moisture in it. I dried out just until the point where it wouldn't clump anymore, but they told me to dry it right out. So this isn't, it's not falling apart, but there's not much moisture in it. Well, it doesn't taste like an old arsehole, that's for damn sure. I find it very similar to Sam Gawith Balkan Flake. I think it's made at the same factory or something, if I'm not mistaken. The tobacco's not as wet as the Sam Gawith, but is that a spider web coming all the way from there? Look at that. It's like a 15-foot spider web. See it in my glasses. We can taste the Latakia, that's for sure. But it's a type of English blend. I know it says Balkan, but well, you know, what truly is a Balkan? It reminds me of the Balkan Flake. It has a little bit of a leathery taste to it. It's not that creosote kind of taste that I find in some heavy Latakia blends, but it's smoother and it's creamier, which could be from the Turkish Orientals. I'm not really sure how those types of tobaccos actually flavor blends, but I'll compare it to some tobaccos I've tried. So let's say HH Latakia Flake doesn't taste like that. Dunhill Nightcap doesn't taste like that. Vintage Syrian, no, it doesn't taste like that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those tobaccos are just Virginia and Latakia. This is definitely more along the line of the Balkan Flake. This does not taste like the 10 Russians at all. Completely different. Almost it's gonna sound gross, like a soapy, perfumey. Got a pretty strong flavor to it. Not that it's a strong tobacco, it's definitely got a full flavor. But yeah, first full light. It's pretty good. I'm gonna pause video here. I'm gonna come back when I'm about halfway through. Give you some feedback. Alright, so I'm about halfway through the bowl now. And it's definitely, like most tobacco, when you first light it and as you go down through your bowl, the flavors change. Things have blended together more. Got that sweetness in it. Feel it. It sort of coats your mouth. I find the Sam Gawith blends sort of do that now. I wouldn't call this as leathery. There is definitely to me, I call it leathery. A leathery taste to it. But it, yeah, I find the Balkan Flake, Sam Gawith Balkan Flake is more leathery than this would be. And I'm using that tobacco because that's the only blend that I've smoked that I can relate this one to. So that's what I kind of like. I like it when guys do tobacco reviews and they'll say, well, this tastes like figs and apricots and this and that. And then when I try it, I don't taste anything like that at all. But some guys will say it reminds me of this type of tobacco. Especially, if it's it doesn't matter what kind it is. Okay, well, this, just because it has Latakia in it doesn't mean it's going to taste like all Latakia blends. That's so far from the truth. I like Latakia blends, and there's a lot of Latakia blends I don't like. They just don't do it for me. It's not that they're not good quality tobaccos. It's, you either like it or you don't. Everybody tastes things differently, and we can only use terms and words to describe tastes of things that we've experienced. So I like to relate tobaccos to other tobaccos. As an example, let's say Orla Golden Slice, Sam Gawith, Full Virginia Flake. I think that's what it's called. There's similarities and there's differences. But the Balkan Flake, I'm pretty sure, is just Virginia and Latakia, where this has Turkish Orientals in it. But there's a lot of similarities, but they are different. I really enjoy the Balkan Flake, so I was looking for another type of tobacco. One thing I don't like about Sam Gawith is tobacco's too wet. This was pretty wet too, and the thing about wet tobacco is when you dry it out, you don't get as many bowls out of it. Water's really heavy. Water's really heavy. Sometimes people would add water. I won't get into detail, but I'm sure we can relate that certain smoking materials, water is added to increase weight and more revenue. It packs nice. It's a nice white ash. It burns. I don't find it it's full flavored, but I don't find it's not really strong like, let's say, Nightcap or 10 Russians. I can retrohale without it tearing my nose apart. And of course, it gets to get a little bit stronger as you go down. I'm not feeling a very strong nicotine hit. Nightcap, geez, I'll get sick to my stomach if I'm not careful with that stuff. That's probably the highest nicotine tobacco I've smoked, would probably be Nightcap. I know, like aged burley flake, holy shit, that's got some kick too. You gotta respect that tobacco. I think from what I've read and what I've seen on YouTube is that there's an area of England, they call it the Lakeland, or Lakeland tobaccos, and they all have a similar taste to them, and I think that's where this stuff is. I think this stuff is kind of falls into that genre, and that could be where that soapiness, old lady perfumey taste comes from. And some of these terms sound disgusting. It's like, well, why would you smoke it if it tastes like that? It's not unpleasant. It's just it's a Latakia blend, that's for sure. But it's creamy. For an example, HH Latakia, that's Mac Baron, HH Latakia Flake, I think that's what it's called. That has more of a tang to it. It leaves more of a, I don't mean citrusy, it's just like, I call it a tang. And this is more of a creamy. I don't know about the room note. The room notes, I just stuck my nose in the tin after smoking half a bowl, and I can barely smell a thing now. I'm just so overpowered with the flavor of the tobacco. So, It's not. Flavors change. Things have blended together now that I'm down a little further. It's still not unpleasant. There's no bite. I haven't had tobacco bite me in a long time. One thing about English blends, they don't usually bite you. Virginias and Arrows, even straight burley, you can't get a bite from that. I'll get sick from nicotine before that'll bite you. But even though I'm getting down there, it's still a pleasant smoke. It's not getting unpleasant. I think I still prefer the Balkan Flake from Sam Gawith a little better than this. I'm almost done this can. I got another can in there, not opened yet. I like it. I'm gonna try to find some more tobacco very similar to this and the Balkan Flake, because I really enjoy them. I do like to mix it up. I don't like smoking the same tobacco all the time. Very rarely will I smoke the same blend. I don't like it. I've mentioned this before, I usually only smoke once a day. But I don't usually smoke the same tobacco 2 days in a row. Sometimes I do. I try to smoke different pipes from day to day too. I have my Latakia pipes. I have all my other pipes. I got one pipe that I'm experimenting with. I'm just smoking everything in it. I'll go from 10 Russians to Golden Slice. Yeah, it does ghost your pipe a bit, but it doesn't. It's not. It's still not bad. It doesn't ruin it. It just has a little unique background notes to it. But yeah, summarize this up. Balkan Mixture, Kendall Tobacco, made in England by Gawith and Hoggarth. Latakia, Virginia, Turkish Oriental. It's a little wet when you open the tin. Needs some drying time. I've been drying my tobaccos out quite a bit, and I think I like them better that way. Then I'll seal them back up in a jar. Or these types of cans, these tins don't really keep the moisture in. They're not really sealed like like a can of Frog Morton where you got the plastic top on it, where they open it up. That they can stay pretty good with the lid on it, unless you're trying to age it or cellar it for a few years. But it's a little wet, needs some drying time. It's got a very strong, pungent smell in the can. You can smell the Latakia, but there's also some unpleasant tin notes in there. Lots of tobacco. That means nothing. The taste will change, like all tobacco does, as you smoke through your bowl. I am feeling a little bit of the nicotine in it now. Just a little bit. Nothing that I can't handle. I always feel it kind of, it's first thing in the morning for me, an empty stomach. I just got out of the shower, my hair's still wet. My coffee's still pretty full, so I haven't even really started my day yet. This is how I like to do it. Coffee and tobacco, that's my favorite. I don't drink, so a lot of guys like their liquors, and their craft beers and stuff. I'm a coffee guy. This is not too bad. So again, if you're looking for a creamy, leathery Latakia blend that's smooth, full-bodied, got a Lakeland style of tobacco, I believe, as I've mentioned. It's this stuff isn't that bad. It stays pretty consistent. It burns good. Nice white ash on it. I don't think the color of the ash is really that important. I think that's more of the texture of the tobacco. Different tobaccos are going to leave a different kind of residue, but I got some tobaccos that have a little bit more char looking in the ash, and they smoke and taste fantastic, you know. Good old corn cob here. So I know I'm going to get a good smoke out of it. I'm noticing that soapy perfume he's gone away. It's there, but you really got to look for it. It's a little bit, I find most tobaccos will get a little bitter as you go down further in the bowl. Smoking pretty dry, no gurgle and stuff, but if you're into those style of tobaccos, give it a try. I don't mind it at all. Creamy and smooth. It's not too bad. I like it. So anyway, that's what I've got to say about that. I'll see you guys later. You guys enjoy your pipes and have a good day.